Welcome to the Inside Scoop
with Chloe
and Connor.
Welcome to the Inside Scoop. I'm Chloe.
I'm Connor, and we're here with
Georgia Howard.
Okay, Georgia. So everybody, welcome, Georgia. This is our second episode. We still are down one camera, but that's fine.
Sadly.
So today on the docket, you do everything at South. You're super important. But today, we found out you have a cross-country meet. So you do cross-country. How's your season going? What's going on with that?
Okay, I started cross-country my sophomore year because my freshman year I did soccer and I was on JV.
Oh, soccer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I started it sophomore year, which is also when I met Connor, because he does it too. And my first season was kind of good. For being on JV, it was kind of good. I was never super fast. And then last year, I was a little bit slower, low-key. But I eventually got down to my same PR as my sophomore year. And then this year, I've been really, really slow. So it's a little bit of a love-hate relationship right now, but I'm very excited for this meet.
What are your hopes? Do you have any goals for today?
Not stop and not cry. Because last meet, we had a meet on Saturday, and it was really bad. And I didn't walk, but I almost, the entire time, I was planning for, a good spot for fake faint. And the only reason I didn't, I actually had it all planned out. There was a specific corner on the course where there was nobody there, and in the beginning of my race, I saw a girl pass out there, and I was like, So the next time I came around that loop, I was about to, I was literally lowering myself to do the feint, and all of a sudden I hear, go Georgia, and I look behind me, and there's these freshman girls who I love so much. Thank you for supporting me, my days. But it was really embarrassing, and so I was oh, and then I just kept running, and then I finished the race, and then I cried.
Oh.
So it's looking good so far.
So it's looking great, yeah.
Motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're in Link. How's that going?
It's going good. I'm not actually, other camera. I'm not actually able to be in the Link leadership class because I do full IB. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not really doing everything for Link just because I'm so busy, but I am doing the events and stuff, and I reach out to freshmen. So it's going good so far. This is my first year doing it. And it's great. I think that the community is really, really great. Everyone is really nice, so I definitely suggest doing it. It's super fun, but I got assigned a group of freshmen,
Mm-hmm.
and
I was gonna ask that. I was gonna get to how's your group. So
okay. Well, I'm not gonna speak bad on their names. I love them. I don't know if they like me very much.
Oh.
But if you're watching this, I love you guys. I will reach out to you. I haven't yet, but I will.
Speaking of reaching out, I was doing some Instagram stalking, and I saw that you're on NHS. You're secretary.
Yes.
So how's that? What's that whole process? How'd you become secretary, and why?
Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Honestly, I'm trying to think. Last year, there was so much running drama. There were a lot of people that were running for positions on for NHS because there are a lot of people in the club. And so I don't know where I got the idea to be secretary. I think because I had some senior friends last year that were on NHS and they made it sound fun. And I was whatever. And Sarah, my friend Sarah, was going to be treasurer. So I was I could just be secretary. And then my two other friends were running for president and vice president, and so we kind of had a whole campaign together, and then we just ran and we won, which was great. But yeah, we do meetings every first Friday of the month, and usually we're gonna try to bring food and stuff, but I don't know if we have the budget for that, or I don't know where the budget's coming from, but we're gonna have food, guys.
What do you guys do for NHS?
That's a great question.
It's a great question. Do you know the answer?
Yes. basically NHS. I haven't really been doing it for that long, but it's basically like community service, mostly. It's for people who are, like, they have good grades and they're involved in their community and they're trying to give back and they're involved in school and stuff, so they can apply and get in. And then it's just a great place for learning about where to find service opportunities. And they do some bonding. Like, every meeting we're supposed to do a game, and then we have food and we just talk about like projects that are coming up or things. I think I have to make a slideshow. After this, I have to go make the slideshow because we have a meeting tomorrow.
So you like it, I'm assuming.
I like it. We haven't actually had a meeting yet. It's tomorrow, so pull up, guys. If you're at NHS, pull up tomorrow. Don't forget. We're going to have food. We're going to, I think, Costco, so come hungry.
Real snacks, good snacks.
Real snacks. Like, we're thinking, like, maybe, like, donuts or, like, cookies, so we'll see.
Great. Well, DECA is also coming up, and I know you did it last year, correct? All right. How are you feeling about that? Did you like it last year?
I loved it. DECA is like my favorite thing in the entire world. And I know that everyone preaches that it's a cult, and I don't disagree with that.
Dixon and Rolfness.
Yeah, Dixon and Rolfness, we love them. I got involved. I heard about it my freshman year, but I just like didn't want to do it. I don't know why. I was kind of lame my freshman year. So if you're a freshman and you're watching this, join clubs and don't be lame, because it's lame. But
Advice column with Georgia. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, let me know let us know in the comments if you want Georgia advice, whatever section of pod. Yes.
Okay.
Guys, wait, let's turn this into guests with Georgia. I'll have you guys on my podcast
You
next
answer
week.
my question.
Sorry. DECA is going fantastic. Tuesday, I went to OSU with my friend Sarah, who's working on my project with me.
Okay.
I'm doing, oh my gosh, BMOR, which is I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's basically a 20-page research project on a business and then how they can integrate AI into their like workplace. And so we're basically coming up with a campaign after doing some research. And so on Tuesday, I went to OSU because my partner and I are working with a professor who studies AI in agriculture. And so we got a lot of stuff from him, which is fantastic. So our project is going really great. Last year was my first year in DECA, and I was really, really nervous, and it ended up going really good. I think that, well, basically at the end of the season, my partner and I ended up getting 4th place at the international competition, which was like crazy because it was my first year. But it's just funny because I think that people get really intimidated. Like at the competition, at the international competition, it's like everyone around you is so smart. They're all from different countries. They all speak like 10 languages. They all have these crazy things in their projects, and they're all wearing suits. And so you just like assume that everyone is a genius. And so like my partner and I got 4th, and so everyone was like just thinking that we were just so smart, but it's just like, and that it's so serious. But the thing is, like, it's not serious at all. My partner and I we didn't edit our project at all between the state competition and ICDC. We had like, it was so bad. And like we made a bunch of mistakes in front of our judge. And so I feel like if you're just confident about it, then you can do really, really good. But it's just weird because people are like assuming that they're like, wow, you must be so smart. Or like, you must have worked so like all the time on that. And I was like, yeah. But, it's super fun, so I would suggest it. I'm also recruiting.
Recruit hard, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with all of that, it's still so crazy because you do full IB, IBDP. So what's that like? Because everyone describes it as very treacherous and very time.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on in that world, Georgia? Tell us all about
I wish
IB.
I knew. IB, I don't even know where to start with IB. Basically, I started IB because I do love school and I love learning, and I kind of just felt like it. I don't know. I was like, yeah, why not? I'll join, because all my friends were like really smart and they were doing it, and so I was like, okay, I'll do it too. And the first year, like kicked my butt. And it was really hard. But there's like a misconception that you have no time if you do IB and that you're just always doing homework. And I'm never doing homework. And I never did homework last year. Like, I do more homework now because I kind of am forced to lock in because first semester of senior year is literally.
So we've heard. It's
But last year I literally did nothing. I hung out with my friends all the time. And then a few nights a month I would just like pull an all-nighter or like 3. And so that worked for me. I was really, really stressed. I think the worst month for me was April. There was like a March to April stretch that it was just like the trenches, like battlegrounds every single day. I would come to school and like cry in like 2 out of 4 of my classes and just like be panicked all day and be like super stressed, and then I would just be fine. But it was really, really stressful. At graduation last year, I went because I had a lot of senior friends that graduated, but it was also the final date for like anything to be turned in for one of my classes. It was theory of knowledge. And I had an essay that was like 2 months overdue, and it was the last day that I could turn it in. And so I was at graduation while like all the loudspeakers were going, and I was blasting like jazz into my AirPods, and I was like, I had my computer out at graduation and I was typing because I had like 2 hours to turn in this essay that I had not started. And I turned it in, but it was really, really stressful. It was really stressful. But other than that, IB is fine. It is what you make of it. I think like it worked fine for me because I was like, I just pulled all-nighters and that was fine. But anyway, back to this year. It's a lot worse. So take with that what you will. But I love IB. Like my whole community of friends is from full IB, and I just think that like it's a really, really great community, and I don't think that I would still be in the program if I didn't have such good support from my teachers who are amazing. Shout out Mr. Miller, love you, and my friends. But I also, something that I want to talk about with IB specifically, and just like being in difficult classes, is that the hardest thing I think for me about that is that people kind of will like assume things about you just when they look at you, or like I don't know, anyone will just assume things. And so throughout the entirety of last year and this year, every time like people found out that I was in full IB, they would act like they were like shocked about it. And like at a certain point I'm like, oh, like that's funny, but then they're just doing too much and I'm like, oh, so you think I'm stupid. Like
But you're not, so.
Yeah, like I don't know how to describe it. Like I would talk about being full IB and they're just kind of like, oh, that's really hard. Like, really? I'm like, yes. And also with being in analysis, which is like a harder math class, people also are like shocked that I'm in it.
Well,
and
I think it is hard.
It is hard, but they're like gobsmacked. Like they're like jaw on the floor. And I'm just kind of like, ooh, like, ooh. And so, yeah, I just think that, especially like, I think that when you present a certain way, like I feel like there's sort of a stereotype with full IB that you're like a nerd or like
glasses up, but
yeah,
like ready to learn, guys.
exactly.
But
Which some of my friends
isn't true, because I mean we've seen people around school that are full IB and they like look completely different.
Exactly,
So.
but like a lot of my friends, love you guys, are like total nerds, and they know who they are. I know they're watching this. You guys are nerds. Wait, can I call people out?
Sure.
Okay, I'll be shady. Okay, Calder, nerd, Elliot, nerd, and I'll cap it there because they know. But anyway, I feel like me and a lot of other people that I've talked about I've talked about this with, think that like, especially if you're a girl and you like are into fashion or you're into makeup or you're like friendly or you're like outgoing, people will just kind of assume that you know less than you do. Especially like 2 of my best friends that I just called out, Elliot and Calder, are like, everyone knows that they're super smart because they're really, really smart. But a lot of times we'll get the same test grades and we'll like do the, well, not Elliot because he's really smart, but mostly like I will get test scores similar to them. And people just like will never ask me or like my other girlfriends for like help with homework or like help with anything. And so I just think that it's just kind of like, that's one part of it that's kind of tough. But I think that as I get through the program, like people realize more and more that like what you look like or the way that you interact with people doesn't really correspond to how smart you are or like what you can do.
So earlier you mentioned that you're taking analysis. So what other classes do you have this year?
Okay.
We know you have a release because that's why she's here right now.
Guys, I have a release.
She has a release. We didn't just take her
not
out
a
of one of
skipper.
her important classes. She's here on business. So
It can be done. You can do full IB and have a release. It's great. I have, okay, I'm trying to think.
just go from
It's
like
really
1 to
difficult.
8. Just go.
Okay, 1 to 8. So first period right now, I have release. And then I have IB Theory of Knowledge, which is a fantastic class. And I think that even if you're not doing full IB, you should still take the class because it's fire.
Oh yeah.
It's fire. Anyway, and then I have analysis after that with Mr. Knowles, who is great, but is low-key my op sometimes. Just because the class is really, really hard. And then I have IB English, and then I have IB Physics, and then I have IB Econ, and then I have IB History, and then I have IB French.
Jeez. I know, I always see
Full
you in
schedule.
French. I always walk
Do
around
you?
and yeah. But
I never see you.
Well, I've released, so I always see you. But
Where? Out the window?
maybe.
Okay, a little
Anyways,
creep.
Stalking
back to
vibes.
my stalking.
Okay.
Anyways, well, thank you guys for watching. That was our second
Yeah.
episode.
Thank you for joining
We had
us.
Georgia
It was a
Howard.
great
What a great
episode.
guest. Thank you for all your responses and
Yeah.
everything. So, thank you guys. Please
Thank
watch.
you.
Love you.